And welcome
Well,
to Nerd Variety Podcast, the podcast where we discuss all things nerdy and all things podcast. And this week we're talking about the newest MCU film, Deadpool and Wolverine. Sorry, Josh, you didn't seem ready right then.
I was putting my food down, but it's all good. No worries.
Yeah. Josh, you have a structured layout for this, which is very unusual for us, especially since Hannah left. I feel like she used to do a lot of structuring of everything.
Yeah. I think it will help us because there's a lot of movie to cover, and we want to kind of be able to talk about everything in some kind of orderly fashion, so we can get done. And so this episode is not 2 hours long. Um, but yeah, it you know
I hate orderly.
first also introductions are in order. We all that was Hayden that just introduced us all, and we are joined by Matt Magneto Burton.
You had to go with the one I hate. You know how I feel about Magneto.
You hate Magneto.
How do you hate Magneto?
Wait.
Magneto's cool.
Magneto's like
He is.
Okay. I take that back. Prior to X-Men 97, I hated Magneto.
Well,
Now
that's a
Magneto's
conversation for
cool.
another time then.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
another episode.
Yeah.
for sure.
I am Josh Juggernaut Bitch Davies.
So wait, I'm sorry. You just wanted to include the word bitch in your title?
I mean, I guess
That's what he
so.
says.
Yeah,
I'm
but
the Juggernaut
I don't
bitch.
think it reads the same.
Whatever.
So,
Josh
Hayden. What?
Juggernaut's bitch.
No. Fine.
I'm
Josh the
changing.
Juggernaut.
I'm changing your name to Juggernaut's bitch in my phone. I don't care.
We will fight when I see you next. Fine. It's
Cool.
Josh Juggernaut Davies. Hayden Hellfire Rafferty. Can we continue with the episode?
Yeah.
Wolverine. Wolverine
What?
seems more appropriate.
Hmm?
Wolverine. It's a
Hellverine?
Wolverine variant. Yeah, it's a Wolverine variant that I'm just not.
Nah, Hellfire seems more appropriate. Okay, but anyway. So we all saw the movie opening weekend, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the week after.
Yeah. So Matt's seen it once. Hayden, have you seen it more than once?
I've seen it.
I've seen it twice, sir.
Yeah. So that's what I said. Matt's seen it more than once. Hayden, you've only seen it once.
I've seen it twice.
Okay, I've only seen it once. So Hayden, what was your viewing experience like?
So, like in the theater, what the audience and everything was like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't have the most interactive theater, which is kind of a bummer to me. Usually, if I go into Atlanta, there's going to be a lot more interaction from my experiences than up where I am. However, there were a lot of good, a lot of people laughed at, various jokes. Like they didn't all land with everybody, and you could tell that in the theater. Some landed with some people over here, some landed with people over there. I guess that's kind of a normal experience, but it was just something that kind of stood out to me this time. Otherwise, I loved it personally. I loved my experience. I loved, when things happened, people got excited. Nobody like really cheered or anything. Like I kind of hoped for. But it was good. Everyone was very positive towards it. And on my second viewing, I saw it with my mom, so I had to like explain all the characters and everything to her. So that was everyone else's
Yeah.
experience hearing me talk about the movie and the characters.
Yeah. That's a thing with bringing in an unknown. I almost went with the cast of the theater play that I just got done performing in, and they went the same day that I went and saw with Matt and our other friends. a couple of them were not comic book movie fans at all. They just went to go and see it. They laughed at the jokes, but they had no idea they didn't know the how dense this movie was or how far back it reaches. But as far as my viewing experience, me and Matt had a great time. We went with some really good friends from Eastman and friends I know from my first college. We all saw it. A lot of previews, but when the movie hit, it was off rip. So many jokes, such a very comic book movie, like something that you would read. I felt like this movie would be a graphic novel. Just it was so just it was amazing. It was great.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, I have to agree with Josh. Like he said, we went and talked together, so my experience was very similar. Like he said, went with great friends, and yeah, 40 minutes of freaking previews. Literally, I counted. It was ridiculous. But yeah, when the movie landed from the opening credits, just what an experience. And I'll explain. I won't go into detail, but yeah, when our theater was very interactive. Everybody cheered when things happened. Everybody laughed at the jokes. And I'm pretty sure one of the loudest cheers came from me, which will be elaborated on later. But yeah, all in all, great movie, great experience, loved it.
Yeah.
Did
I
anybody
was
dance along to Bye 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 with with Deadpool?
no. I was just in shock of what I was seeing. So we can
Yep.
kind of go into the plot of the movie with this one because movie opens in the most unexpected means. Deadpool digging up Logan's skeleton from Logan. He goes to dig up his skeleton and he's like, "Oh, he's not really dead," but at that point he's just an adamantium skeleton. And then the TVA agents show up and he uses the skeleton to kill them all, set to bye bye bye. I would not have believed if I had seen myself.
Complete with Bye 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 video dance number
Yes.
performed by I guess it was the choreographer that did it, because they revealed that after the movie came out. But anyway, great job by him, because it wasn't actually Ryan that did the dance number.
Yeah.
But great job by him.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I want to point out in the opening sequence, before the opening sequence, when they put out the teaser, they was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna touch Logan. We're gonna leave that intact. That's fine." And then immediately, first words out of Deadpool's mouth, "Yeah, we're not gonna leave that alone. We're about to fuck that all the way up." Here you go.
Desecration.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, movies kind of starts out with that, but then it goes into like what usually like similar to the first Deadpool movie where he kind of backtracks and shows what he's been up to in the last few years. He, has been playing around with the time splicer that he got from Cable in the last movie. Cable didn't come back for this one, which is a bit understood, but
You didn't do well with the focus groups.
Yeah. Whatever. they couldn't afford them. Or I guess it would have been a little weird. But anyway, so it seemed like he's trying to put the Merc with a mouth thing behind him and go into a new direction, have a job and be a stable member of society, whatever. And he has a birthday party, but then like it seems like he and what's her name? Marina.
Every detail of the movie.
Oh, this is a big plot point here. It's kind of like his own little journey here. His party, and that party is in the trailer, but it seems like him and Marina, Vanessa, they broke up for reasons.
Yeah.
TVA gets him, and it's like, oh, we thought it was because he was messing with the timeline, whatever. But no, they want to save him from the time. They want to bring him to the MCU, and it's like, okay, this is weird.
Literally, the
Um,
main plot is Deadpool gets brought into the MCU.
I mean, that was what we were told in the trailer, but we weren't sure how.
Yeah. But
But
I mean,
it's
like,
like,
that's legit the plot in a summary, like a brief summary. It's Deadpool joins the MCU, and that explains why everything happens.
yeah, but we didn't know. But it ends up being like Paradox's, like, this whole thing with Logan being the anchor. He's it seems like Paradox says like, oh, Logan was your anchor, now he's gone, so your universe is gonna die. I'm gonna just kill it off, and like, but I'll let you live. But he's like, no, I want to save my family and friends, and I'm not gonna let you do that. Blah blah blah. And then he goes on a hunt to find a Logan, a Wolverine, and then they end up getting sent to the void. There's a lot of them trying to escape the void and save Deadpool's timeline. This is a very different Logan than what we thought. It's a Logan that I thought they were going to go with something a little akin to what the X-Men continuity has set up. But it's cool that we got a fresh Logan. Wolverine, he looks great. He looked great in his suit. They have a lot of great fight scenes. There's a lot of them trying to understand each other. And then again, just a lot of jokes, a lot of good action scenes. Then we have all the cameos and stuff, and then it comes down to them trying to save their timeline from Cassandra and Paradox, and they win, of course. And it's like, you don't really see a lot of the multiverse, like not a lot of multiverse implications. There's just a lot of, but again, tie-ins to what they set up in Loki, and I guess some personal stories or or I guess focuses on Deadpool's like journey in this movie and this Logan's journey in this movie.
It's definitely a Loki sequel too, basically.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
You really have to kind of watch like Endgame and Loki to understand all how timelines, the timeline stuff works, the alternate timelines, or all that, how all that works. But
right,
it was a good premise to bring. It was the obvious premise of how to bring him into the MCU.
right,
Mhm.
right. And
Yeah.
I think they did a great job tying it all together that way. I like, even like, I hadn't finished Loki season 2 yet, but I even understood like everything that was going on and why it was happening the way it was happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. They're all in different timelines, and they're all just kind of adjacent to each other, and you can just travel to whatever timeline you need to if you have the right tech or whatever. But yeah,
So
Deadpool saves his timeline, and I guess Logan stays with him. And yeah,
yeah. So actually, I got a question, and we might want to revisit this at the end of the episode, but
Mhm.
um, with the idea of anchor beings now,
Mhm.
who do we think is 616's anchor being?
Ooh.
That's a interesting concept, because again, it's just been it's been dropped very suddenly and without a lot of context.
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr.
I was good.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to say that. Like, I heard of
Yeah,
Nexus being.
I was gonna say, if Tony Stark was alive, I would say, yeah, Tony.
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like they
But
brought up Nexus beings with the WandaVision show or in Multiverse
it
of
really
Madness.
should be Blade. Oh,
Fair point, Matt. But
just saying.
yeah, they brought up, I think they brought up Nexus beings. I haven't read too much on that. I don't think they've invested a lot in those concepts. But we'll see how they try to move forward with that idea.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be interesting to see if they actually go with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I could see that being something they just kind of sweep under the rug. It's like, that was a Deadpool thing. Shut up. We're doing other things now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. They would want us to, similar to wrestling. Yeah, pretend like that never happened. This is a totally different past. That wrestler, that wrestler is doing a totally different character now. He's a new person. Similar here. these characters are doing something different. This is a totally different group of characters. They have the same name, but they're different characters.
It's also the
Like,
thing with this is they're not using Kang anymore. At least I just don't think they're going to even revisit that anymore.
Right.
Like Kang would have been like, you know, it's looking like the big bad, but now with recent developments, he's not. So they're kind of quote unquote pruning all that stuff they were using with him, they were going to do with him, and now they're trying to rework it into something else.
Sidebar, I read a plot summary of what Kang Dynasty was supposed to be earlier this week. Seemed interesting.
Oh yeah. I feel like they could have recast it. They just kind of kept their ducks in a row, or cast multiple actors for the role, just because they had a setup for it, but I guess they got a little they were a little too disconnected, and of course the whole thing when Jonathan Majors and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania just left a bad impression on people.
Yeah, for sure. Although I am excited for Doomsday and all that stuff, to see him as the villain.
That is going to be, of course, everyone knows Robert Downey Jr. has been cast as Doctor Doom for Avengers Doomsday, and most likely he'll be showing up in Avengers Secret Wars, which, how do we feel about that?
Super excited. But I feel like we should wait until another episode to talk about that, since this
that's fair.
Fair. I do too, but what I'm really hoping is it's the Doom that took over Tony Stark's body, and that's how they explain it from that comic book line. Just because that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Last point on that is I had a feeling he would come back in Secret Wars at least, but I didn't expect all this. But we'll talk about that another time. Let's go into characters and cameos for this movie, because there are a lot of them.
Hey, there are a lot.
First off, when they get to the Void, there's a figure on a searchlight or like a spire that's like warning them about the villain's crew coming that way, and he has a hood on and he sticks his arm out, and you see like he's got a familiar sounding voice. He's got like a red, white, and blue kind of arm on his arm, and it's like, oh, is that an alt cap? Maybe. And then he jumps down in his like very heroic, very cap-like, in a very cap-like manner, and then he takes his hood off, and holy crap, it's Chris Evans. And we're all just like, oh, yeah, oh, wow, I did not expect to see him back so soon.
Right.
And
also,
then they're out to fight the mutants that show up, and Deadpool's like, all right, I've been waiting to see this for my whole life. He says Avengers Assemble, but nope, that's not what Chris Evans says. He says Flame On, and it's Johnny Storm from the 2000s Fantastic Four movies, and I'm just like, yo, it was so awesome.
We all cheered for that, and that was amazing. Yeah. Like, we clapped for that. That was insane. Like, I never thought I would see Chris Evans back as Johnny Storm.
No.
I don't think anyone did.
I knew that he said he would like to try to give it one more shot, but I never thought they would actually go back to it.
Not in this movie, anyway.
Right.
Not in any movie. Like, maybe a TV show, but I didn't think a movie.
Oh, no. I was thinking Secret Wars, if anything. But this movie was completely unexpected.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's like he kind of gives the introduction for like what's going on, because it seems like he's been there for a minute, and then he gets just killed. No thanks to Deadpool. But Deadpool.
Hey, it wasn't Deadpool's fault.
Apparently not, because you go back to the post-credit scene, and I'm just like wondering what actually happened, because I'm seeing like I guess we didn't see the whole trip down to Cassandra.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess he was right.
I love too that he just said, and you can quote me.
That is the most I've heard
Right.
Chris Evans swear. I don't think he's sworn that much, especially since being cast as Captain America.
Yeah, apparently Ryan Reynolds said that Chris Evans memorized it strictly because he was like, I don't get to do these roles that much. He was like, I got it. Don't worry about it. Like, and so he did it from memory.
Yeah.
Did that whole speech from memory,
Mm.
according to Ryan Reynolds. So I don't know how true that is.
I mean, yeah, he's a good actor. He's probably remember. And it's
Probably.
like, you know, I that would be funny if I ever am able to act. Could y'all imagine me like see me on in a movie and doing a line like that?
I actually could, because all they got to do is get you to drive.
Yeah, you could, but it'd be like, what would Eastman think?
Who cares?
Who cares? Don't show my mom this. Don't show my mom that movie though.
Yeah, that's all we got to do is not show your mom. Your dad probably laugh. Your mom, no, we ain't showing her.
Yeah. Hayden, you wanted to discuss Cassandra, Paradox, and the evil mutants that we see.
Yeah. So I actually did look up a little bit of Cassandra Nova before we started recording, and yeah, they seem to really do her evilness justice. You know, they changed her character a bit. I'm not really all that familiar with her in the comics. Again, just from like a quick Wikipedia like search, or it was like the Marvel wiki or something. But yeah, I mean, I thought she was very menacing from the first time she does anything. She rips off Johnny Storm's skin and leaves his bones and everything to fall as a pile of mush on the ground. It was wonderful. I also thought, Matt, you're muted. I don't know if you were trying to say something. But yeah, no, I thought she was great. She was very convincing as a villain. And then, you know, we got to see a lot of cool X-Men villains returning from the original movies. You know, we saw Pyro, Toad. I don't remember for sure if it was the original actor that played Toad. I feel like we didn't see a lot of Toad.
It was.
It was?
It was Ray Park. Sorry.
Ray Park.
Yeah, Ray Park.
Okay. Cool.
And we had
we had Juggernaut, who they wonderfully pointed out, like, oh, that's this week's Juggernaut. Because, you know, they've of course had Juggernaut in the movies in like X-Men 3.
Yeah, that was Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, and they had him in Deadpool 2, actually. A much bigger Juggernaut.
It was actually voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember the song that accompanied that in Deadpool 2. It's like, oh shit.
Holy shit balls.
Holy shit balls. Holy.
Yeah.
That's actually in my Spotify.
So that was great. I'm trying to think there was Azazel, obviously, who was really good. I don't know, when I saw him, I was like, I felt like nobody remembered this character. I thought he was fun, but he's like an evil Nightcrawler.
Yeah, he was like a menace in First Class, and then they just
was he in First Class?
Yeah, he was.
I remember him in X-Men 3.
No. Nightcrawler was in X-Men 2, and Azazel was in First Class. Then they killed off his character in Days of Future Past.
I'm like positive Azazel was in X-Men 3.
No, he wasn't. No, there was no Azazel. There was a teleporter, I think, but not a Nightcrawler or Azazel.
Let me see.
All right. I rewatched
Okay,
a lot
fine,
of
fine.
them.
I'll look it up later.
I
But
rewatched a lot of them before the movies.
I mean, I did too.
I
So
have I have X2 in first class on DVD.
okay, okay. I trust.
Josh, go fast forward right now. See if you can find it. I'm kidding. Don't do that.
It's fine.
I'll have to
Anyways, then there was, of course, Paradox as the villain, who I thought he actually did a pretty good job. That's great, Josh. Thanks. That's
You're
wonderful
welcome.
visuals for the
I've got the
audio
receipts.
only podcast that we're doing.
Everyone, I just showed them my first class in X2.
Yeah. So I thought Paradox was pretty good as a villain. He was a very Deadpool-like villain. Like not to say he was like a standard Deadpool villain, but to say he was, very he was kind of like Deadpool. He would definitely break the fourth wall, and he would talk about the MCU and everything, and Deadpool brought up, "Is that Thor crying?" It's like, "No, don't worry about that." So
that happens in the distant future. No worry.
Yeah, he was rather inadequate as a villain eventually, but he was pretty good film wise, in terms of how he was written. But yeah, like as an actual villain, he was rather incapable.
Yeah, so to pick up where we left off, it was all of that was amazing leading up to that. And then you see Cassandra take Deadpool and Wolverine out, only for them to be rescued. Well, first you get this big dramatic fight scene that stemmed from an argument between Wolverine and Deadpool, and they fight inside of a Honda Odyssey, I believe it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yes. There are so
yeah.
many jokes about the Honda Odyssey.
Right. And you get this great monologue from Hugh Jackman's Wolverine about how crap Deadpool is, which they launch into the big fight. The big fight lasts for hours because it started in the early evening apparently and ended like late at night. And then they knock each other out, get driven away by a mystery character we don't know yet. Then they come up on this compound. Deadpool wakes up. Logan's drinking somebody's liquor. We don't know whose yet. And then they hear footsteps coming. So Deadpool hides behind the wall with his sword. He goes to swing, and we see a sigh. And lo and behold, it's Elektra, which was dope. I remembered that she was gonna be in the movie, and to see her that intro was pretty dope. And yeah, Jennifer Garner looked great as Elektra.
She did.
She looked great, and I always thought she looked great in the movies. In her movie as Elektra, it's just the plot of that movie and the writing there didn't do that movie any favors. But Jennifer Garner herself as Elektra, awesome. It was cool to see her.
Yeah.
But then here comes my absolute favorite part of the movie, so much so that I forgot where I was at. All of a sudden, we see motherfucking Blade walk in, and Josh can tell you, like I said, I forgot where I was at.
Well,
I
Matt,
screamed.
we were on separate sides we were in the middle of the aisle. Our group was in the middle of the aisle, but we weren't sitting next to each other. Like,
No, we weren't.
I was in my own head as well because I was like, oh look.
Yeah.
I started cheering, and then It was just late after all these years.
I screamed like I was at a sporting event and my favorite team scored a point or whatever. Like that is the most like I jumped out of my chair and I was like, let's fucking go.
Bro,
I
that was
lost
the
it.
same energy we had for a No Way Home because we saw that together.
True.
And that's how
Yep.
we felt when they were building up the other two Spider-Men coming in.
Yep.
It was
Exactly.
smaller. Our theater was small, but it was still like they were all like it was enough of us to make to that we also got amped up and we were just like
Yeah.
tension was building. We just cheered in celebration to seeing them above them.
Yeah. Blade has always been one of my favorite characters because when I was little, I didn't even realize that Blade was, as a kid, I didn't realize it was a Marvel thing, like comic book thing, until the movies. And it, I forgot how much I love Blade. And like when I saw him, it brought back memories of me looking up his replica sword online and wanting to buy it for myself so bad. So I was super hyped to see it. I love Wesley Snipes as Blade. I think he deserves a final run, and I think this movie proves that. Ryan Reynolds said he even wants him to have a Logan style final run, which I am 100% here for.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I said, completely lost my mind. And then after that, Gambit pops up. And for those that don't know, Gambit is my favorite X-Men. So I lost it there as well. I kept my cool a little bit more this time because I remembered where I was at the time. So, but I kept my cool. And my goodness, I was skeptical when they announced way back when that Channing Tatum was going to play Gambit because I was not 100%
Mm-hmm.
sure. But man, what a performance! I loved it.
I
And
loved his accent.
Yeah,
just superb. Like
yeah, that's what I was about to say.
off the page.
I've seen several TikTok videos from people who are Creole themselves that say his Creole accent is spot on and he did it perfectly. And then you
even
see
though Deadpool mocked it to hell.
and
Who is your
the
accent coach?
Who's your dialect coach?
the minions. That shit was freaking hilarious. Like that movie,
Not a
like
single word.
yeah. And the funny thing about it was I understood every freaking word he said, and it made me laugh even more.
It was funny because, and when he came out too, I was like, we saw the cards. We saw zoom in on the cards. I was like, Bullseye? Like what? What? And then it was him in the costume, and I was just
Yeah,
like, they did it. They finally did it. I was taking it all in, just like it's Gambit. It's Channing Tatum as Gambit.
yeah.
Holy crap!
The one negative, and this is very nitpicky. It
Mhm.
felt like his face was a little too wide.
I think that's been a comment, a criticism of him playing Gambit, that he doesn't have the leaner build that Gambit usually does have.
Right.
Yeah,
But I think it was like more specifically his face.
It did
yeah.
kind of have a MODOK from Quantum.
No.
Kind
It
of.
wasn't that. It wasn't that. It wasn't that bad.
I tend to agree very slightly on that one because it was a little off putting. Just a
I
little.
put it more of like take it back to like the what's his name, Michael Keaton's Batman suit in those two movies. He couldn't turn his head, and I feel like he was kind of like he was wearing that chest piece was kind of like big on it. It was like kind of like locked in on him.
Yeah. I can
So it was
see
like
that.
the guy who played Gambit in Origins,
Taylor
not
Kish.
to shit on him, but he wasn't written well. Didn't do an accent. Like he didn't have a suit. I think he had the build for it, but just the movie wasn't built to
Yeah.
written to help him out.
Yeah. Not at all. And I seen somebody trolling online talking about people thought Channing Tatum was good as Gambit. Absolutely. Like and people were like he was like, no, bring Kish back. I'm like, Kish was fine, but no, let's not bring him back right now.
Right.
Channing Tatum's was perfect. But another negative, but this is a personal negative. I'm sad we didn't get my favorite line from Blade, which is
What is your favorite line from Blade?
what's behind door number one? I can't tell you. They'll kill me. Kill you, motherfucker! I'll kill you. I'll just enjoy it better. Like that's my all-time favorite line from the Blade movies, and I'm sad we
Yeah,
didn't get
I
that.
did find the I skate up I skate uphill. It
Yeah,
was like pretty solidly placed.
it was, and that was a great line. But like I said, personally, for me, my favorite line was the "I'll kill you" line, and I'm sad we didn't get it. But other than that, phenomenal performances from all three of those characters. Elektra was
Yeah.
great. Blade knocked it out the park. Channing Tatum knocked it out of the park.
There was another
Great.
one.
Yeah, who was the other surprise guest appearance?
Wait, who was it?
It was X-23.
Oh
Man.
yeah, duh.
Laura.
Laura Kinney, X-23.
Not little anymore.
Duh.
She grown.
Yeah, exactly. Dope, very dope, and I love the fact that she kept the sunglasses.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah,
And
she was.
when she and Logan had that one-on-one by the campfire, just that pulled at the strings a little bit. It was really dope to see.
Yeah,
Even
it
though
was
that
enough. It was placed great because he needed a someone to, I guess,
fight for.
it was fight for, but also she was the person that allowed him to, vent, or he was able to feel vulnerable around her to get his trauma off his chest, or get his struggle, kind of finally voice what happened to him, because we
Right.
didn't know throughout the movie.
Right.
Great fight scene they had at the end. Also, we had a lot of we'll go through Easter eggs and whatnot. There was a lot of alternate Wolverines that we saw. We saw one where he was fighting the Hulk. We saw one in homage to like that comic book cover where he's on the Giant X. There's we got a comic accurate size Wolverine,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which was amazing.
it was. But after seeing it, I don't want to see it in a movie like full movie.
I don't shorter. I can deal with a shorter Wolverine, but not that short.
No,
It was just too jarring. It was like, okay, this is what it looks like. Let's not do that again.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a bit of an odd vibe.
Very,
We
very
saw
much
the
so.
the cow the cavalry.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Henry
Calvary.
Cavill was Wolverine.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved Henry Cavill as Wolverine.
I did
that
too.
was
I thought it was great.
that was so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
I
Patch
feel like
was great.
What?
Patch, the patch variant. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Well,
The eye patch.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
Patch was
missing
great.
a specific one. But I think they just did a lot of nods to the Wolverines throughout the comic. The Wolverines big appearances throughout the comics. Yeah, it was
They also
great.
did an actual like Old Man Logan one.
Yeah.
Another
The
reason
one with the shotgun on the porch. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of any other ones. Oh, what was it? Also, so going to like Easter eggs in general, we had the Deadpool core.
Yep.
Nice pool,
Played
dog
by
pool, lady Deadpool, kid pool, just
Yep.
all the Deadpools.
Baby pool.
Baby
Yeah.
pool,
Which-
Zen pool.
Which what? It was baby pool, lady pool,
Kid pool.
and kid
Kid
pool
pool.
that
Mhm.
were actually played by Ryan Reynolds' family.
Yep.
Yeah.
Blake Lively voiced Lady Deadpool, who actually was inspired. Lady Deadpool was created because of Blake Lively, so that was a nice touch.
I didn't know that.
And
Yeah,
it
Liefeld created her because him and his wife used to watch Gossip Girl, and they fell in love with Blake Lively's character. So when Marvel asked him to do a lady version of Deadpool, he pulled it from her.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, she could pull off the physique too, but I guess they wanted to get
Yeah,
that she couldn't make the filming
yeah,
or whatnot.
right.
And of course we got to see Logan with his cowl on,
Which
which
was
Amazing.
amazing. I loved that moment. That was probably my favorite moment in the movie.
that was a holy crap they did it moment.
Yeah, it was like, oh, here we go. Like
Yeah.
for me, that was it's getting real now.
Yeah, yeah. It was a very comic book moment of seeing them try to quote unquote kill all the Deadpools. Um,
I
and
have a,
and then it was funny when they like, oh crap, they all heal. No
I
shit.
have a, yeah, I have a question though. Was Nice Pool a movie creation? Because I've never heard of him.
I
Like
don't
I've heard of,
I feel like
Um,
I had heard of him from the comics before.
I
Um
don't, I feel like I haven't, and I've heard of pretty much all of it.
it's hard to say. It could be either or, but again, it was a way for it's like, oh, we have a Deadpool that's of course played by Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds can be his usual good looking self in comparison to the main Deadpool. And then
Fun
of course we
fact:
got go ahead.
they his credits is actually Ryan Reynolds' alter ego. Like in the end credits, it's his alter ego's name
Gosh.
that plays Nice Pool.
And of course we
Which
got Dog.
we got Dog Pool, and
Oh my god.
I'm upset we didn't get two pools, and that's Gwen Pool and Panda Pool. Those are the only two that.
Panda Pool would have been awesome. I'm okay with not having Gwen Pool. She's a lot. Maybe in Secret Wars that would be fun to see. Other Easter eggs.
Actually, and I was wrong. I hadn't heard of Nice Pool before, I guess, because Nice Pool was only in Deadpool and Wolverine. You're right.
I thought so.
I'm on a losing streak today.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't think of any more Easter eggs. Off rip there is seems like we got some of the original cast that came back.
Right.
Yeah, overall, movie was hilarious. I thought it was a great tribute to the
Fox
Fox
movies.
X-Men movies and the other movies that came before that are not MCU based.
I loved the
What?
the 20th Century Fox logo buried in the sand when
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
first got there.
and then Deadpool's like, rest in peace, Fox. And then
Yeah,
They also did make, I don't remember if we mentioned this, but they definitely made a lot of references to Loki. Specifically, Deadpool calls out season 1, episode 5
yeah,
yeah,
for the
yeah.
bad guy, or
yeah,
Goliath was in
storm
there.
thing.
yeah. Elias is in here from season 1 of Loki, episode 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit's hilarious.
So yeah, I definitely want to watch it again. I will be buying it on DVD when it comes out, Blu-ray when it comes out.
Absolutely.
What did we not like about the movie? Is there anything we didn't like?
Not all the jokes landed for me.
Oh,
Yep.
I think it was better the second time, but
Mhm.
yeah, the first time going through, I was just kind of like, yeah. I will say I was very iffy on the dancing up front. Like I was here for it immediately, and then as it kept going on, I was kind of like, okay, that's just kind of dragging a little bit. Like he seems way too committed to this bit.
It did drag a little bit, but it was still awesome. I
Yeah.
don't think I have any negative things other than things I personally would have liked. Like in the scene with the brown suit Wolverine and Hulk, I would have loved if they would have pulled a line from that animated Hulk versus Wolverine movie. Hey Wolvie, I shot you in the ass. One of these. What I did? Because he shoots
Yeah,
him in the ass with a bunch of
yeah,
tranquilizers.
yeah.
I would have loved to have that. I would have loved to have Nolan North and Will Friedle play one of the one of the Deadpool cores since they
Oh yeah, that
played
would have been great.
since they
Yeah.
both played animated versions of Deadpool.
Yeah.
And I would have personally I would have loved to have more of Zenpool, like not just him being in there. I would have loved to see him actually do something. Zenpool actually should have been Nicepool because Zenpool is the version of Deadpool that becomes nice and he actually becomes a monk. So it would have worked out that way. They could have used Zenpool for that, but I guess they didn't want to kill him off. So makes sense.
I mean, none of the Deadpools died. They
Well,
all.
one.
Nicepool did.
Oh, Nicepool was definitely dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
You're
That's
having
what
gonna
I.
enough.
make it through this. You're gonna survive. I'm gonna survive.
Boom.
Yep. I
No
don't think he's
hits.
gonna make it. That's
Uh, things I was a little I'm a little like could have done this. So the whole like I find it funny that I enjoyed the humor and just the absurdity of him using Logan's skeleton to kill all the TVA agents, and
yeah.
but the whole thing about the anchor being and your timeline's going to die. I feel like that was ended up being Paradox's just excuse to wipe out the Fox Deadpool's universe, Deadpool's timeline. I was hoping for a little more sound continuity thing. I like the Wolverine hunting, the hunt for a Wolverine. Even though I thought, oh, can you just grab the one that's in your universe? I thought your timeline was like in sync with like fell the Days of Future Past, the end of Days of Future Past, and I thought that the Logan timeline is over here somewhere. Like I was hoping for a better, something that was a little more streamlined, but they've been having I guess they just did what they wanted to make it work. I liked Deadpool and Logan's and Wolverine's kind of character arcs. I feel like there could have been a little more to them, but just little things like that.
Yeah.
And I am interested in seeing what happens next because we see Deadpool in his universe with a Wolverine. X-23 is there too. I can't remember who else was there. If anyone else joined them, but
Well, and
they're all in Deadpool's universe,
we
or they're
know
at least
we'll
visiting.
we know we'll be seeing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine until he's 90.
Yeah.
Till you're
That's very true.
90.
Fox dropped him, but Disney brought him back.
Yep.
I'm
Okay.
clocking out forever.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see them both in Secret Wars. I read somewhere that while they may not do another Deadpool movie, they would probably have him featured in something in the future.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
Let them do a
Please.
team up. Like God,
Please.
Yeah.
Marvel, do more
The-
team up movies like this.
The quip.
Or just
The quips. The never-ending quips that would come from that movie. Yes. Give it to
Spider-Man
us,
is
please.
so over Deadpool usually. He's
Yeah,
always
but
like-
oh yeah. Most characters are, but it's just a matter of
That's true.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think we'll see more Deadpool for sure. I'm not sure about Logan. I would very much like to see more of X-23 and maybe
yes, please. Can we get her in the suit?
get her in the suit and get her doing X-Men things and whatever future X-Men thing they do. That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts?
I think I've said what I want to say.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you.
I don't have anything other to say than great movie. Love to watch it again. Gonna watch it again. Gonna watch it multiple times.
What's your
Yes.
rating? Do you have to give it a rating?
Oh,
Fucking 15 out of 10. I don't care, man. That thing was good.
Okay, so we know Matt's not to be trusted on this. I mean, no offense,
Oh,
you just
mine
seem
is
a little
completely
biased,
biased.
maybe.
A little. No, this one I am proudly proclaiming my bias.
Yeah. Josh, what would you rate it?
let's see. I give it, and I can't give it a 10 out of 10. I don't want to go lower than 8.
I'd probably
I
give
wanna
it like
say-
an 8.5.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You agree with that one?
Matt's typing here. He's got something to say he doesn't want to say
Maybe a 9.
on.
Maybe a 9. 8.5.
I'll be fine with that. Yeah, somewhere in that range. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch it again. I'll be able to. I think I will give I can stick with the number after that one. After seeing it
Right.
again.
And like legitimately it's, yes, I am insane. Thank you for asking.
We're all a bit mad here, Matt.
Yeah. But
I
yeah,
think we
no,
all
I
are,
am.
but yeah.
I mean, no, I just kind of balancing. I liked it better the second time. The first time again, I felt like I had more issues with it, which is how I feel I should rate it. I kind of a mixture of both. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, like 8.5 to 9.
Yeah.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Even though I respect it.
Yeah.
Is it the best Deadpool movie so far?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Deadpool movie
absolutely.
so far.
I think if we're talking straight Marvel movies, like as far as Marvel as total, this is just my opinion, and I'm probably gonna catch a lot of heat for it. But best Marvel movie so far.
It's a bold statement.
Bold statement. Bold statement, Cotton.
It is, but I am willing to stand on it. I don't care.
I mean, it's a movie that's almost entirely fan service,
which is what makes it amazing.
That's the appeal of it for sure. But
yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say about that for now.
Yeah. Part of the critiques that don't allow it to be a perfect 10 for me and for you Hayden.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should definitely do a ratings list for MCU or just Marvel movies in general.
Absolutely.
But we'll talk about that another time. But until next time, nerd out.
Nerd out.